Welcome, dear listeners, to another journey into the natural world. Today, we focus our ears on one of the most secretive and mysterious birds of Europe and Asia, the Eurasian bittern, scientifically known as Botaurus stellaris. This bird is rarely seen, yet often heard, with a call that has echoed through wetlands for centuries. A call so deep and haunting, it was once believed to be the voice of spirits rising from the marshes. Introduction to the bird. The Eurasian bittern belongs to the heron family, our deity. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary brown heron, but appearances can be deceiving. Covered in streaky brown and buff plumage, the bittern is perfectly camouflaged against reeds and grasses. So effective is its disguise that even when standing still in full view, it often vanishes into the background. It is a medium-sized bird, stocky and robust compared to its elegant heron relatives. Adults measure around 70 to 80 centimeters in length, with a wingspan that can stretch between 100 to 130 centimeters. Males are generally larger than females, and both have that characteristic streaked plumage that makes them almost invisible in their preferred habitat, dense reed beds and wetland. Distribution and habitat. The bittern's range spreads widely across Europe and Asia. You can find it from the British Isles to Scandinavia, across Russia, China, and even parts of North Africa. However, its presence is often patchy, because it relies on very specific habitats, large reed beds with shallow water. In Britain, for example, bitterns almost disappeared during the 19th century due to hunting and the draining of wetlands. Yet, thanks to conservation efforts and wetland restoration, the population has made a comeback. Today, reserves such as Minsmere in Suffolk and the Somerset Levels echo once again with their booming call in springtime. The famous call. Speaking of calls, the Eurasian bittern is most famous for its boom. This is no ordinary bird song. It is a low, resonant sound, often described as a foghorn echoing through the marshes. Males produce this call during the breeding season, from late winter through early summer, to mark their territory and attract females. The sound is produced in an unusual way. The bittern inflates its esophagus like a balloon, then forces the air out in deep pulses. The resulting call can be heard over 3 kilometers away. In medieval times, villagers thought this eerie sound came from supernatural beings. Some even believed it was the voice of the marsh itself, warning humans to stay away.
Cultural significance. Throughout history, the bittern has been a bird of mystery. Its booming call gave rise to many legends. In medieval Europe, it was sometimes called the bog bull, thought to be a monstrous beast living in swamps. In literature, the bittern often symbolized loneliness and mystery. Poets from Chaucer to Tennyson referenced its haunting voice. Even in folklore, the bird's call was said to foretell storms or misfortune. And so, the Eurasian bittern, Botaurus stellaris, remains one of nature's most fascinating birds. A master of camouflage, a singer of strange booming songs, and a symbol of both mystery and resilience. Its survival depends on our ability to protect wetlands, those precious, life-giving landscapes that support not only bitterns, but countless other species. Next time you walk by a reed bed at dawn or dusk, pause for a moment. Listen carefully. If you hear the distant, foghorn-like boom rolling across the marshes, you'll know you are in the presence of one of nature's most secretive wonders, the Eurasian bittern.
Conservation and challenges. Despite their comeback in some areas, Eurasian bitterns remain vulnerable. Their dependence on healthy reed beds makes them highly sensitive to habitat loss. Wetland drainage, pollution, and climate change pose ongoing threats. Conservation programs across Europe focus on restoring wetlands, creating reed bed habitats, and monitoring populations. In the UK, the bittern was once down to fewer than 20 males in the 1990s. Today, thanks to active conservation, there are more than 200 booming males. It's a success story, but also a reminder of how delicate wetland ecosystems are. Behavior and feeding. The Eurasian bittern is a solitary bird, shy and elusive. It spends most of its time hidden among reeds, emerging mainly at dawn and dusk. Its feeding habits are just as secretive. Moving with stealth, it strikes suddenly with its dagger-like bill to catch prey. Its diet is diverse: fish, frogs, newts, small mammals like voles, and even insects and crustaceans. The bittern is a patient hunter. It often stands motionless for minutes at a time, waiting for the right moment to strike. And when danger threatens, it adopts its famous bittern pose, stretching its neck upward, bill pointed to the sky, swaying gently with the reeds, blending perfectly with its surroundings. Breeding and nesting. During breeding season, the male's boom plays a key role in courtship. A female, attracted by the sound, may approach his territory. Once paired, the female builds the nest alone, usually hidden deep in the reed beds, floating just above the waterline. The nest is made from reeds, grasses, and other wetland vegetation. She lays between 3 to 5 eggs, pale olive in color. Incubation lasts about 25 days, and the female does all the work, incubating, feeding, and protecting the chicks. The young leave the nest after just 2 weeks, though they remain dependent on their mother for food until they are fully fledged at around 6 weeks.